Alright, we are back with the Radiance. I don't know how long this part will be, but had to abruptly stop the last part, but now I'm back. You're clear to go, Miss Adonis, but I recommend spending the day resting in your room. No classes, no physical activity. I nod sleepily, and I do mostly okay now, save for some soreness in my throat, but most importantly, Professor Balin has found Dex and is keeping him locked away. That means I'm safe now, right? My dogs will probably bark. I apologize. My room is empty when I arrive a few moments later. Classes are in session, so I don't expect Rayla to return until evening. I flop onto my bed and immediately drift off to sleep again. I'm awoken by the sound of a light rapping on my door. What time is it? Classes are still in session, so it must be the headmaster. I amble over to the door and swing it open, expecting to see the headmaster standing there. However, I'm surprised when I see Arian standing in the doorway, a look of concern etched on its handsome face. Arian, what are you doing here? Don't you have classes? It's nothing I can't miss. Seeing you is far more important. Arian's voice sounds a bit strained. I notice he doesn't touch me when he enters my room, merely steps inside and closes the door behind him. He looks at me, his eyes searching mine. Are you feeling better? Better than yesterday. Good. However, he moves closer, his fingers reaching out and pulling me closer. Then he leans forward and places a quick kiss on my forehead. My dog's coughing. The healer would not let anyone in to see you yesterday. It took all my restraint not to break the door down. You, thinking of breaking the rules? I'm shocked. My tone is teasing, but I feel a prickle of anxiety at his words. Could it really take so little for him to lose control? Nah, I don't think like that. Arian is not evil. I'm sorry about what happened. I should have been there to protect you. No, you couldn't have prevented it. No one could have. This thing, this shadow, it was strong and fast. It was a shade. That's right, that was the part of the conversation I overheard in the healer's room yesterday. The headmaster thinks the thing attacked me as a shade, and I had not yet the chance to read upon what exactly a shade is. What kind of creature is a shade? Well, they were once living creatures, then something changed them. Dark magic usually. The change is permanent and cannot be reversed, but shades can be controlled. And this shade is being controlled by someone? Correct, this shade appears to have been captured, and whoever is controlling it wants to use its power to hurt you. But why? We don't know yet, but we will find out soon. Arian's expression darkens, and I know he is thinking about Dex, locked up somewhere in the school, waiting to be questioned by the authorities. Thank you for coming to check on me. Of course, you came to visit me in my time of need, after all. I pull him into my arms, hugging him tightly. His hands rest lightly above my waist, stroking my body softly. I lean my head against his chest, listening to his heartbeat. Can you stay a while? Yes. He draws me closer, his lips pressing gently to mine. I wrap my arms around his neck, pulling him into an embrace. We stay like this until the sunlight begins to fade outside, and finally, reluctantly, he exits the room and I return to sleep. Are you sure you want to go back to classes today? The headmaster told you that you could rest until Monday. If I stay in bed all day, I'll just keep thinking about what happened. I need a distraction. I can think of a better way of distracting than sitting in classes all day. Come on, let's go. Returning to classes proves to be more exhausting than I planned. I am stopped by nearly everyone I see, all asking about the attack. It seems that the word about Dex has been detained has already spread. Everyone seems to be certain that Dex is guilty, but I am feeling a bit uneasy. Rayla has insisted on walking me to class so she can play defense, rushing me through the hallways like she is my personal bodyguard. No questions, please. We've got to get to class. Move out of the way. When we reach the classroom, I slump into my seat. Rayla hovers over me. Do you want me to meet you after class to walk you back to our room? No, you've done enough. I'll be okay. You sure? I don't mind knocking out a nosy student or two. I'm sure. Thank you, Rayla. Anytime. As soon as Rayla's gone, I sit down in my normal spot, trying and failing to ignore the whispers and eyes turning in my direction. When the headmaster arrives, the students immediately quiet down, giving him his full attention. I'm thankful that their scrutiny is now on him rather than me. I know all of you have questions about what transpired here this week, and I'd like to take time to clear everything up before Sarenville rumors mill loses control. There's a ripple of whispers amongst the class, clearly excited to be getting the inside scoop. A shade was spotted in the school and attacked a student. I can actually feel the eyes in the room return to me. Professor Balin might be tactful enough not to mention me by name, but everyone knows which student was in the library when the shade attacked. Something like that can never be hidden from a throng of gossip-loving students. But I don't want anyone to panic. I have banished the shade, and we have launched an investigation into the culprit that summoned it. Again, he does not mention Dex by name, but everyone here is aware he is the current suspect. With this in mind, I'd like to focus today's lesson on mental defense. It is important to be aware of creatures out there that will prey on our mind. A shade uses fear to attack its victims. It can make you see things that are not there, and it can cause you to feel it as if you can't breathe. The memory of the shade choking the air out of me sends shivers down my spine. There is no one true method to fight off a shade, but you can lessen its effects with strong mental defense. The headmaster continues with his lecture, but as soon as he goes over different approaches to protecting the mind, I find that these defenses would not have helped me much. The shade would have killed me, but something caused it to end its attack before it was done. Was it called off by whomever controlled it? I am not sure, and I will never know. But knowing that the shade has been banished means I can relax a bit for now. Alright, today's electives. Because I don't want to read that bullshit again. Alright, magic control. Magic power up. Sweet. What should I do today? Oh, it's the weekend. I didn't realize. Just do our charm. I don't know what all that will do for us, but... Alright, what are we gonna do on this Sunday? We're just gonna stay in the room. I find myself feeling particularly tired after my weekend activities, so I return to my room and collapse in bed. I awake with a splitting headache. When I try to sit up, my limbs feel heavy and weak. What's wrong with me? Your body has gotten weaker. The voice comes from very close to me, and I jump, startled. It was the necklace. I had actually forgotten it was there, but seems ridiculous because it's not exactly small. What happened? Why am I so weak? Magic giveth, and magic taketh away. What does that mean? It means you must have given up. You must give up something to gain something. In this case, I give you magic in exchange for strength. You didn't tell me that would happen. You didn't ask. I sigh deeply and lay back down on the bed. I feel as if I just run a marathon. I don't like feeling this weak, but having extra magic power does feel nice. Maybe it's acceptable exchange. If not, I can just take off the necklace and go back to normal. Leave the necklace on. What's a little physical strength when my mental strength is off the charts? I'd like to say it's acceptable trade. I'll keep the necklace on. Force. Ah. Alright, week 10. With everything that has just happened in recent days, I almost forgotten about my request to meet with Samia, so when the shining form of the wisp appears in my room, I am not expecting it. Good morning, Miss Adonis. Ventus, did you hear back from Samia? I did. Miss Almazi asked that you meet her in the dining hall this evening. What? Today? Yes, today. Okay, thanks for the message. Without another word, Ventus disappears, looking like I might actually get some answers I've been looking for tonight. But before now, it's time to choose this week's electives. Alright, another elective class. I arrived very early for the meeting with Samia. Nervous and energy ripples through me as I sit, journal in hand. I could be in very big trouble if Samia had something to do with the Oracle's death. However, I am betting that she won't do anything drastic in such a crowded place. I hope my bet pays off. Thanks for meeting with me. I must admit, your message took me by surprise. Do you really have the Oracle's journal? I hold up the green-covered book, but I do not give it to her. I'm not letting anyone get their hands on this book until I can determine my safety. I almost didn't believe it. How on earth did you manage to come across that? Honestly, I think someone led me to it. I'm just not sure if that someone was Sybil, William, or someone else entirely. Well, as interesting as your discovery may be, I'm not sure how I can help you. I need to choose my next words carefully. If Samia had anything to do with Sybil's death, she will not be pleased to find out that I know she was the last person the Oracle spoke to about in the journal. Sybil wrote about having a meeting with you to discuss strange visions she was having. She said you knew the most about the Oracle that came before her. About William? Well, yes, I was there when William served, but Sybil never came to me about anything regarding strange visions for William. She didn't? I knew that she was becoming very paranoid during her last weeks, but if she had planned to meet with me to discuss it, she never had got the chance. Well, this is not what I expected. I searched Samia's face, trying to determine if she was being honest with me. There's no way to know for sure, but my senses tell me she's not lying about meeting with Sybil. Do you know that Sybil thought she saw William? She thought he was trying to give her a message? As I said, she had become very paranoid. She thought she was being watched, but it could not have been William. He died in the human world. That's where Sybil found them and how she received the Oracle's gift. If you ask me, he got what was coming for him. Traversing to the human plane is dangerous for any of us. No one knows what he was doing there in the first place. So William visited the human realm without the council knowing about it. There were no records of William leaving Perilyn, so finding out that he died in the human realm was a bit of a surprise. William was willing to leave the protections of the council behind, and it got him killed. Such a waste. I think back to Sybil's writings. She thought she saw William alive, not a ghost, not a vision, just alive. Do you think there is any chance William might not have died that day? Why would you think something like that? It's just the way Sybil wrote about him. She was certain she saw him alive. Is there any chance he didn't die? It's true that his body was not recovered, but Sybil received an oracle's gift. That could not happen without the death of a previous oracle, and even if somehow he did manage to survive, he could not live that long as human, not without some serious dark magic. So dark magic could keep someone alive that long? I suppose there are ways, but some types of magic is certainly not common knowledge, nor is it easily accessible, especially to humans. But it is possible William could still be alive, but using dark magic, I'm not likely to find out much about the topic at Sarenville Library. If only I knew someone knowledgeable on the subject. Look, Sybil was a wonderful oracle, but she had become unstable towards the end. She was certain someone was trying to kill her, but with the protection from the council, it would be near impossible to get to her. But someone did kill her. Sybil's death was ruled as an accident. An accident? That can't be true. I saw her. She looked terrified. And you said yourself she was worried about someone coming after her. Her body was examined and it was determined she died from respiratory failure. That can't be all. I assumed you would feel relieved to know her death was not a murder. I'm not a doctor, but I don't know what could cause respiratory failure, but I can't get behind the accident theory. Sybil's journal indicates there was something more going on, something that scared her. Technically, I'm not supposed to share this detail with anyone, but if it puts your mind at ease, I feel you should know. When Sybil's body was examined, they found aconite in her system. What is aconite? A plant sometimes used in herbal remedies, but fatal if taken in large doses. So she was poisoned? That is not the current theory. Why not? Because the plant can only be found in the human realm, and as I mentioned earlier, trips beyond Perilyn are extensively documented. So you think Sybil traveled to the human realm and poisoned herself? There are records of her visiting her homeland, and aconite is found in that very area, so the theory is that she used the plant as an herbal remedy and accidentally ingested too much. I suppose the theory makes sense, but still it doesn't feel right. What about her sightings of William and her experiences of being followed that strangely mirror my own? Does aconite cause hallucinations? I'm not an expert on plants, especially not human plants, but I don't think this one is a symptom. I slump a little in my chair, feeling like I'm at a dead end. I know something is happening here, but I can't put my finger on it. I must return. Is that all you wish to know? Not even close. Yeah, sure. Thank you for your time. I leave the dining hall feeling dejected. So the council doesn't believe Sybil was murdered. I just can't believe that. I saw the fear in her eyes. I read her words in her journal. I refuse to believe Sybil was simply mad, but it looks like I have a lot more digging to do. Interesting. I was about to say, what, is this an elective? It's time for this week's club meeting. When I enter the club meeting, Tanya immediately pounces on me. Today's the day. What day? The day that Starminster students return to their school. They're going back after the classes today. I stare at her, momentarily unsure where she's getting at. Then the realization hits. Oh, that means we managed to avoid Reese entering the room. We saved him. You saved him. You did something incredible, and I couldn't be prouder to call you my clubmate. Oh, stop. I didn't really do anything. You made a contact with a ghost. That's definitely something. So that means Alistair will disappear? I can't help but feel a little sad. Sure, this is what he wanted, but I have to admit I enjoyed getting to know him. Reese, not so much. I'm pretty sure I will not miss him when he's gone. I assume so. I guess we'll have to visit the room to be sure, once Reese is gone, of course. I nod silently. The idea of going back into that room and finding it empty is a good thing, right? Alistair will finally be free. This entire thing is going into the Mystery Club records. They'll be talking about this for ages. I can't help but smile at her enthusiasm. I wait until dark to return to the cold room. As soon as I enter, I know something is different. I know that he is gone. I walk around for a moment trying to sense him, but there's nothing. Goodbye, Alistair. I hope you are happy wherever you are. Oh, that was it. I waste no time after classes are over. If I'm going to talk to Dex, I've got to do it before it gets too late. I find out that Dex is being kept in a small cabin on the outskirts of Sarenville grounds. There are 2 guards posted outside the door. I'm not sure the guards will be very accommodating, so I decide to play the role of emotional victim. I just need to see him or else I won't be able to concentrate on my studies, I told them. I'm a little surprised my excuse actually worked. Maybe being the future oracle does have its perks. When I enter the small room, I find Dex lounging on a small bed, book in hand. He barely glances up as I enter. So they let you in, huh? Aren't they afraid I'll attack you? Don't know, but I'm not afraid. Is that so? Then why am I here? Surely it was you that told the headmaster about the notes. I did tell him about the notes, but I didn't tell him that you attacked me. I didn't attack you. That had nothing to do with me. But you must admit that it looked pretty suspicious after writing all those notes. Nothing in those notes indicated that I would attack you. Maybe not at first, but then, come on, that last one was a little bit more threatening. The one where I told you to back out? This is barely a threat. No, the one where you threatened to hurt the person I mostly care about. I don't know what you're even talking about. Are you really going to try to deny it after all this? I admitted to sending you notes. Why would I deny sending another? Because it's different from the rest. Different how? Do you have the note? I don't. I gave it to the headmaster to investigate. When they locked you away, I assumed they had the proof you sent it. Huh? No, they don't have any proof yet. Only your word, and apparently that is enough to keep me here until the authorities can question me. I can't help but feel a little bad for Dex, but I am not sure I trust him entirely either. If you didn't send that note, who did? The question was rhetorical, so I am surprised when Dex gives me an answer. Maybe the same person that's sending them to me. What? I wasn't going to get into it, but since I'm currently getting pinned with everything, I've got nothing much to lose. I sent you those notes when you first arrived because I was told to. Told to? Who told you? That's just it. I don't know. I started receiving threatening notes not long after you came to Sarenville. Notes that told me to scare you away to make you leave the school. Why would someone want me to leave the school? I have no idea. I couldn't exactly question them, but they had information about me that they threatened to leak if I did not comply. Any chance you'll tell me what that information was? Not a chance. A sudden thought hits me. Do you still have any of those notes? No, after you confronted me, I decided I didn't want to do with their bidding anymore. Dark secrets be damned. So I ignored every note I received from then on, destroyed them on the spot without even reading them. Damn. Why? Do you think those notes would help you find out who sent them? I think it would. It's how I found out that you sent them the first two. Ah, some kind of oracle magic then. I wonder if the culprit considered that. I gave the only note I had to the headmaster. I have no idea what he did with it. So you'll have to find the culprit some other way, if you believe me, that is. Whether I do or not, I intend to find out the truth. So is that why you came here, to grill me about the notes again? Actually, no, I had an entirely different purpose. Now I'm intrigued. I wanted to ask you about the dark magic. Well, that is not the response I was expecting. Why do you think I would know anything about the dark magic? Well, I kind of found out about your parents. Huh? I guess the gossip wheel never stops turning. So it's true that your parents joined the Sullen? It's true, but I haven't spoken to them in years. When I refused to come with them, they sort of disowned me. So they did manage to teach you anything about dark magic before they disappeared? I didn't say that. Then what are you saying? My parents had plenty of books that would be considered illegal to own. I read some of them, and I may still have some of them. Not in here, of course. Of course, you know so much stuff. What is it that you want to know? You must have a reason if you came here all the way. If you came all the way here. I want to know if you extended someone's life with dark magic is possible. And if so, how might one go about it? Whoa, that's pretty specific. I have my reasons. I get it. You don't have to give me the details. Life extensions is possible, but it's not easy. There's no one-step solution. It would require constant upkeep. Could you be a little more specific? In order to give yourself life, you have to take life from someone else. So you'd have to kill someone? You don't have to actually kill them, although you could. You just have some sort of siphon the life from someone else. You could take 1 year or 10. There's a whole process. It also requires you to consume a person's blood regularly. How regularly? Probably every day, maybe more than once a day. I'm not entirely sure. So if a person wanted to live forever, they'd just have to drink someone's blood every day? There's more to it than that. Dark magic is all about the ritual and sacrifice. Drinking someone's blood alone won't do it, but there's where my knowledge ends. I don't know much about the actual ritual. What do you plan to do with this information? I'm not exactly sure yet. Well, is this somehow linked to the notes? I really don't know. It could be. Look, I don't know exactly what is happening here, but I'd be careful. If you suspect someone of this kind of magic, well, you just don't know what this person is willing to do. I don't, but that's why I have to find out before they do something worse than sending threatening notes. Do you want me to ask the headmaster to release you? I can tell him you didn't attack me. So now you believe I am innocent? I wasn't sure when I first came in here, but now, yeah, I think I do believe you. Well, don't bother going to the headmaster. It's not his decision anymore. Once it's been referred to the authorities, they'll never consider letting me out until they can question me. I could still try. Honestly, I feel like I'm safer in here. Those words sent a chill down my spine, but he may be right. A guard comes in, then interrupting our conversation to let me know my time is up. Okay, one last thing. The guard gives me a quick nod and I turn towards Dex. When I find out who's behind this, and I will, I'll make sure they let you out. Sure thing, detective. Yeah, I'm becoming a regular Nancy Drew. Who? Never mind. Lol, he didn't know. He's probably like, what the hell? When Rayla and I arrive in history class, I notice a renewed interest in me from the other students. I guess people still aren't done wondering about the attack. That is so last week. There's nothing more to tell. Don't these people have anything else to do? The truth is, I do have more to tell. I just no longer suspect Dex. With the attack of the threatening note, the general public doesn't appear to agree, but I can't correct anyone until I know who really is behind it all. Professor Mordain enters the class and students settle down somewhat, though their hushed whispers still ripple through the room. Whoops, how did I read the air? Everyone please take your seats, it's history time. And welcome back, Miss Adonis. We're also relieved to see you back with us. I give a strange smile in response. I know he means well, but I don't enjoy being called out. I can feel everyone's eyes on me, and it's like the very first week all over again. Today's lesson is not particularly interesting. I find my thoughts wandering and my eyes droop. Rilla's slow, steady breath next to me reveals that perhaps I'm not the only one struggling to stay awake. I'm not sure how much more time has passed when I'm awakened by the voice of Professor Mordain beside me. Miss Adonis? What? Oh no, did I fall asleep? The classroom had emptied. All the students are gone. How long have I been asleep? Professor Mordain chuckled softly. Yes, but don't worry, it's completely understandable. I told Rayla to let you be for now. You obviously still need some time to recover from your injuries. More like I've been exhausting all my energy trying to find the person responsible for those injuries. I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me. I feel okay now. Good, your health is more important. My boring history lectures can wait. Your lectures aren't boring. I can tell when I don't have the full attention of my audience. It's perfectly alright. All topics are full of excitement and adventure. Well, I guess I better get going then. Would you like some tea before you go? I have one that will give you a boost of energy for the rest of the day. That actually sounds pretty good right now, thank you. Professor Mordain hurries off towards his desk and returns with two teacups. This is lemon balm tea. It's good for enhancing cognitive function. So I'm about to get a brain boost? That's what they say. I just find the lemon flavor gives me a bit more pep in my step. I take a sip of tea. The lemon flavor is intense but soothing. You are very strong, you know. What? I am? Certainly, with all what you've been through, you still refuse to give up. I just don't know many people that would be able to endure what you have these past few weeks. I don't know about that. It's true, not just being thrust into an entirely new world, but now the attack on top of all that, plus having your room destroyed and being threatened by a fellow student. How did you know all about that? About what? About my room being thrashed. Oh, that? I'm not entirely sure. I suppose I heard it from one of the staff. Nothing stays secret around here for long, I'm afraid. Right, of course. I lapse into silence. Professor Mordain continues switching the topic to other things, but I am not listening. I had not told anyone that my room had been trashed. Not even the headmaster. How could the professor possibly know? Of course there could be ways that the staff could find out, but no one has mentioned it to me before now. I'm suddenly feeling very uncomfortable. I'm sorry, Professor, but I need to go. Is everything alright? You haven't finished your tea. I think I just need some fresh air. Thanks again for the tea. Of course, stop by anytime. I practically run out of the classroom and out to the courtyard. I wasn't lying about needing some fresh air. I suddenly feel very lightheaded. Am I jumping to conclusions? Professor Mordain can't have anything to do with this, can he? At least Dex seems suspicious because of his background, but my immensely helpful history professor, it doesn't make sense. I need to calm down. It was just one offhanded comment. I just can't let myself become too paranoid. I take several steadying breaths before heading back to the class hall. That's creepy. What if it is the history teacher? Hey you, Oracle. I'm on my way to Arian's office for a lesson when I am stopped in the hallway by a small group of students. I eye them warily. Hello. And with that, everybody, we are going to stop right there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.